It doesn't sound like he's trying to make up stories. And it's good to see that he has considered how his life has been and he's able to share that comfortably.
Maria? And then Maria is someone who maybe doesn't slot into my life like as easily as Natasha would, but she's the person who I could imagine just like waking up with every day.
So I wonder why Tom feels Maria. Firstly, when he meets her, there's an upbeat energy. Hello, Maria! 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 The man is excited. I wonder what part of him, is that a real genuine part? Because there's two parts, there's two sides of Tom that we're seeing here. They're very close, don't get me wrong. He's very, not flirtatious, not overly flirtatious with Maria, but he's more open, he's more vibrant, still vulnerable, but keeping it nice and sweet. But with Natasha, he's also vulnerable, but he's not bringing the swag, you know. And I wonder if the culture has something to do with it now that he knows that Maria is Moroccan or from a different culture. Is he trying to match some part of her culturalness that is not real to himself? Questions. I don't know, guys. That's where I am at the moment. Hello, lovers of love and light. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Mamie. I'm a counselor, a coach, and a Reiki practitioner. Please consider subscribing so I can keep bringing these sorts of videos to you. Please remember to take care of yourself. These kinds of shows can be triggering. If you have a way of taking care of yourself, please do that. If you need professional help, please seek that. Let's continue watching Love is Blind.
I think if you get on with someone and you understand each other.
Understand? I'm understanding you, okay? Just carry on going. I'm wearing Birkenstock.
Don't do that to me!
I genuinely feel like Maria brings out the kind of more humorous, upbeat side of me.
He seems to really be giddy around her, and he's asked the question about, you know, what would living with you be like? I wonder, with that question, is he also thinking about culture? Is he thinking about her as a person, you know, cultural difference? I know that a lot of people listening to me might be going like, it's just culture, what are you on about? She's a human being. Yes, she's a human being. As a black person, African, brown person, whatever, how the world sees me, I've defined myself as a person, of a woman of the world, because I didn't want to put myself in the box of color, at least race. But I do have a culture. And I was raised a certain way by my family. That's my sub-culture. But then there's a culture of Botswana people, and there's a culture of the African culture in some ways that is kind of similar, right? You come to Europe, there's a culture in your family, and then there's a subculture of your larger family, the community, the government, and then the country, and then the region of Europe that you're in, that sort of stuff. So there is culture, that is a big thing. So yeah, I'm wondering if he's thinking that. I guess I'm also wondering, has he had experiences where he's been with people that were not from the same culture, same race? Is he questioning that? Is he wondering about that? How would life look like? And there's nothing wrong with that.
I hope and pray that if I reach the end of this experiment, that I'm going to have an incredible life. I want to make sure that I'm making the right decision.
Like, there's one person that I clearly have a very deep, like, special connection with. It's Tom, but I feel like we haven't really touched on much, but it's just like, you know, you can just feel something special.
Yeah.
I wonder what is connecting these two, that they feel almost exactly the same about each other, but she also knows that they have not gone deep. I think that's the difference with Tom and her. And that could just speak to the fact that Tom is a man and does not express everything, can kind of be selective. I'm not being misogynistic. We live in a world where men they're not freely allowed to express their feelings, right? You're a man, be tough, right? And she's recognizing that they have not gone deep. She knows she hasn't gone deep. She knows she hasn't gone as deep as she would like to. All right, let's keep watching.
My dad left us when we were 12, I'd say. What's the dynamic between you and your dad? I mean, if you don't feel comfortable talking about it, it's fine.
You're not having a father figure. You look for other people around you to kind of give you that sort of guidance. And so I used to look to my 3 cousins. You know, they were all older than me.
That's a very good question. You know, this woman, yeah, I'm liking her. I'm liking her questions. You know, she also works in mental health, so she knows how to work with people, talk to people, I suppose. she's basically wanting to know how not having a father has impacted him and how he's dealt with that subsequently. Were there any other role models? And he kind of picked up on that right away. That shows his level of depth, that he can meet her there. And he's talking about how, the word guidance came along, which is it's a tick, ding, ding, ding. He knows that he needs guidance. He's not an island. He knows exactly what she's asking, and it doesn't sound like he's trying to make up stories. And it's good to see that he has considered how his life has been, and he's able to share that comfortably. He's processed his life, basically, his experiences, living without a dad, being with a single mum, living away, working away on a cruise ship. These are the things that will impact your life, make you become who you are. And it sounds like he's got some awareness around that, and he knows how that has impacted him. But it would be good to see how that plays out in a relationship. Also, how that has played out in his previous relationships. If he can speak to that as well, would be really good.
We don't speak.
Yeah.
It's never been our choice. It's just because since I'm a kid, he didn't really make an effort to kind of build a relationship. He used to really look to Danny, really. He really took me under his wing, taught me how to play basketball. He's the one that taught me how to make music, how to rap.
Yeah.
His dad is not dead. He's alive, but he just was not in his life. Because I thought he died. I don't know. Maybe I missed it. I'm watching this on fast speed, so I'm missing quite a bit as well. So his dad is not dead. That's even more difficult because it's basically being told that you're not wanted. I don't know why his dad would have done that. People have circumstances that lead them to make the decisions that they make. But that would have impacted him. And he knows that. He knows exactly what she's asking. Where did you get your guidance from? Who did you look to? Having a father is an important thing in a child's development. Having a caretaker, a father figure, rather. And it doesn't have to be a father, because some people do not have fathers. Maybe they're just born without, or maybe they're adopted. And, every dynamic is okay. It works how it works. But when somebody actually leaves your family and leaves you as a child, or I don't know what age he was. And I like how she prefaced it with, you don't have to answer if you don't feel comfortable. She's giving him the opportunity to decide where he is with that, which is very smart, because when you just ask the question and say, tell me, that person is going to be kind of forced to answer, depending on how healthy they are. Somebody who creates stories might just be on the surface, but it gives them the opportunity to decide to meet themselves where they are, and share that with you by meeting you where you are.
Just kind of held my breath and just said, just tell me, And then she said, Danny and Kim are dead. They both drowned. It really made me realize, his life is way too short to take for granted, any single moment. And I think now I really try and be...
One thing I'm noticing when he's talking about the passing of his cousin, I'm noticing his accent. Maybe that's just me as somebody who has an accent. We all have accents, but an English accent, not English, British. Anyway, you know what I mean. When he's talking about that and he's breaking down, he's in this sort of vulnerable space and he's allowing himself to go. I can see that he's holding back a little bit as well, but his accent is coming out. I know this because that happens to me, and I've seen that happen with some people as well. It's not everybody, but I've noticed it in myself. That vulnerable space brings him back to home, to who he really is, and I can see also he's holding back a little bit. It's nice to see him sharing this moment with her.
I can't even imagine how difficult it is.
I appreciate you, listening.
I want to be your safe space, to tell me anything that's on your mind.
I really do feel comfortable. It just feels really right.
Yeah.
Feels really safe.
That was a sweet, sweet moment of her saying, I know how difficult that is, and him saying that he appreciates it. The connection is still, on the same level. Nobody's sort of taken aback. Oh, I should take it back. I should, people can get embarrassed and shameful, guilty for sharing a heavy thing. There's none of that. And much like in a therapy session, that's exactly how it is. And it's interesting that I'm bringing up therapy because I worry about her being in the mental health industry. Being a mental health nurse, she probably is used to working with people that are struggling. And so she has to be very empathic and compassionate and holding space. And her saying words, therapeutic words, like this is a safe space. It's not something that you tend to hear people everyday people saying. I suppose because she works in the industry, this is how she would interact anyway, so that makes sense. However, I still worry. I hope he's secure enough to not leave it all up to her, say what he needs to say, and then leave it there and never getting to do anything with it himself. The fact that she knows I'm struggling with this is enough, and so I don't have to do nothing. That can happen. That could be a very, very painful, toxic dynamic in a relationship. And I hope that she doesn't take that role and wake up when it's too late. I hope that they're mature enough that she's holding space for you, but you also have to hold space for her. She's holding space for you so that you can do the work that you need to do. Yeah, I'm just noticing that.
You are an outstanding guy.
You are amazing. It'd be nice to have a bit of a cuddle now. It's getting hot in here.
Really? Listen, we haven't even started, so you don't know what's coming.
That's really a beautiful thing, actually, where you can talk about a heavy, traumatic, painful subject with someone, a loved one or a partner or a boyfriend or whatever, or even a friend, and you can get into that space together and you can have a moment of respite. You know, he just went, oh, it would be nice to have a hug now and a cuddle, you know, and their minds probably took them to somewhere, you know, sexual or sensual, or just a cuddle because you just talked about something and they laugh about it. How else can they do that here? You know, they can't cuddle, so they're going to laugh about it, which is great. And they're both able to go into that space together and clear out the air, this heavy air of, you know, loss and grief and pain and misery. So that's done and dusted, and, you know, they can move on. But they're taking it with them in a considered way, in a processed way. You know, it's not just here, just carrying it. I remember when I was doing my training course, I'd be in college and I used to say things like, I feel like I'm carrying something and it's just here. And that's because in my shoulder, it's just right here, waiting for me to do something. It's because I haven't processed it, right? And once you process it, it comes from your shoulder. It might, for everybody's different, right? I don't know how you guys process. It might just poof, and it becomes like a air memory thing that's there that does not trigger you anymore, that does not wear you down anymore. Or it might be stored somewhere, but on a lighter, less heavy version of it. It's good that they can have that moment.
Me and Bobby are great. We just connect on a more personal level, and he's so open to me in regards to communication, his past. And that is enough indication for me that he is going to be the perfect partner for me. I will cut it off with Sam.
She is sold. She's into this now. This is it. This is the man. I just wish that Sam could, I know men don't talk as much. I wish he could also say more of that. I want to see his confessionals. I don't see much of his confessionals. I want to hear what he's saying. But I think it's safe to say that she's speaking for both of them. She was able to weed out Sam and see his whatnot. I think these two would be good, but I am concerned about her taking the fixing role. I hope that her training in her mental health nursing, that she can take care of herself as well and put up those boundaries that are so needed. And I'm sure she does, because she is in that industry. Hopefully she does. But sometimes it can be hard to manage your own personal relationships. You can help others very well, but your own relationships can be a little bit of a struggle. You know, we also go to therapy if we need to. As a counselor, I'm not a fully healed person. I am continuing to heal and develop and evolve myself. I've got the tools, so whatever comes up, I can deal with it, right? But I need to be open to doing that in my own personal relationships. All right, lovelies. I think I'm going to stop here today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed this review. Yes, I go in depth. I did say it's going to be in depth, so it is in depth. If you have not subscribed yet, please consider subscribing to my channel. I really would like to grow my channel so I can keep making videos like this. And also remember, this is not therapy. Do what you need to do to take care of yourself. I can't stress that enough. So thank you for watching. I will see you in my next video. Love and light to you. Mwah. Bye.